I didn't know when it goes
Oh, there we go. See? 1 second.
I can't see. I apologize to everyone on this side. I can't see you at all. So if I don't make eye contact,
So you
I apologize in advance.
You press end live video and then save.
You never apologize before a speech, PSN. This isn't PSN, so I can apologize. Okay, thanks everyone for coming out. I know there's a lot of stress going on today and the past few weeks based on the whole Corona thing, obvious flights, Yeshiva shutting down, very stressful. But I think that speaking about the inyan of the value of time during this tekufa, I think is really important, especially because we're going into Bein Zmanim a little bit earlier, and it's very easy to kind of fall away from your Torah study when you don't have the set limud that you had every single day in yeshiva for the past few months, from the beginning of Horusman and all the way from Elazman. So I think that it's important to talk about the inyan of the value of time and to try to figure out what the Torah perspective on it, what's expected from us, and how we can maximize our time to our greatest potential, so that we can be the proper Ovdei Hashem that we should be. So I think to start off, we could start off with source number 1. Makes a little bit of sense, right? We're going to try to find Chazal's view on the value of time, and hopefully we'll be able to develop a mahalach. I'm going to pose a question in the middle after we understand what is expected of us, what the value of time really is. And after I pose the question, we're going to try to build a little bit of a derech on how to answer that, and try to bring a nice Musar Hasfil at the end. Okay, so if you look at source number 1, the very, very, very famous Mishnah on Pirkei Avos, Imlo Achshav Masai, right? If not for now, when? And I think that phrase is thrown around all over the place, but and there are a lot of different explanations of what this phrase really means. But we're going to be looking at Rabbeinu Yonah's explanations. If you look at source number 2, Imlo Achshav Masai, what does that mean? Shelo Yomer Ani Hayom Asuk B'Malachti L'Machar Efneh V'Asuk V'Etake Na'atzmi Kishem Lo Tifneh. But you shouldn't say to yourself that, okay, today I'm going to work on like my own things. I'll just go play basketball all day. I'll sleep in my bed all day. I'll just play Xbox in my room. Nothing really matters. It doesn't matter. And tomorrow I'll like work on Torah and I'll work on my midos and like I'll daven properly and everything will be okay tomorrow. Shem lo tifna, because maybe you're not going to get around to it. Why? Very, very harsh lashon here. He says you don't have the rishos to be mevatel any of your work, even for 1 second. Okay, 1 second. That seems a little bit harsh. Why? Why is that true? If you look at the Nishmas Chaim, I've been trying to find out for a really long time who the Nishmas Chaim is. So if anybody has an idea on who the Nishmas Chaim is, please let me know. But I found the source and I think it's really cool. He says, "Ein aveda kavedas azman," right? He's quoting our Mishnah. He says, "There's nothing like losing out on time." Okay, nothing. You can lose anything else in the entire world, and it'll be better than losing out on a second of your time. And if you look at the Likutei Ma'aran, Rabbi Nachman quoted a little bit later, look at just the bold. And you shouldn't like push off yourself from day to day. And say like, yeah, tomorrow I'll get around to this. Tomorrow I'll start. Why? Tomorrow I'm going to daven with kavana and with the proper koach, and all these types of things. Ki im oto hayom v'oto hasha. Sorry, something just happened with the computer, so I got a little bit distracted. Right, so because there's nothing like the time and place that you're in right now. Why? Ki yom ha'macharatu olam acher lagamre. Because tomorrow is a completely different world. Right, whatever you're supposed to be accomplishing today isn't what you're supposed to be accomplishing tomorrow. So if you end up saying to yourself, okay, yeah, today I'm supposed to be working on X, Y, and Z, but like, it's fine if I don't get around to doing daf today, I'll do daf tomorrow, right? What ends up happening? You end up having to do double daf tomorrow, but your tafkid was to be doing daf today, not to be doing daf tomorrow. It's a completely new world. You completely lost out on your world the day before, and you tried going into the next world, which is a bit of a problem. And I think that it applies to everything, not just daf yomi. It was just the example that I gave, right? So we're starting to see a little bit about the value of time, but before we speak a little bit more about like what's expected of us and all of those types of things, I want to totally change directions for a little bit, and I want to pose a question that we'll answer at the very, very end, after we try to develop this yisod, right? So I was speaking to Eytan a little bit about this source a little bit earlier, but right, so Gemara and Avodah Zarah, we're learning Avodah Zarah in YU this year, and shout out to my Chavrusa Yomi Lab. I don't know if he's watching, but shout out anyway. And I think that when we were going through this Gemara, I kind of ran through this and had an idea, and I guess a yisod developing off this, and I built the entire Chavura off of this Gemara. So hopefully we can develop it properly. But right, we say Kol mitlotzitz gorim klai olam. Someone who is a late son, right? Someone who kind of mocks things, doesn't take things seriously, right? Whatever they're doing, they don't take seriously. They're bringing destruction into the world. And now, why is that true, right? Okay, if I'm not doing something, or if I'm not taking something so seriously, I didn't destroy anything, right? I didn't do anything. Like, why is that? Why is the lashon of kliya there? Why is there like destruction? Is the word that they use, right? You would think that it was like batlanos, right? You would bring like batlanos into the world. You wouldn't think that it would bring destruction, right? Why do they use the word destruction? So just keep that on the back of your mind. We'll answer that hopefully in about 20 minutes from now when we get to the end. But for now, just keep that question in mind while we're developing the yesod for the answer. Okay, so now let's transition a little bit about what's expected from us, right? We already understood, we went through Chazal's understanding of why it's important to value your time and why all of your time is super important. And now we're going to go into a little bit about what's expected of us, okay? We know that it's needed, so now, okay, practically what am I supposed to do? So if you look at the source number 6, Shulchan Aruch, right? It's the very, very first siman. He's Gaber Kari, right? Very, very famous. You should wake up like a lion. Why? To wake up to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, you should serve your Creator. You should wake up like a lion. Okay, so at first glance, seems to make a lot of sense, right? A lion's super powerful. When you look at a lion, you think of someone who's like very fierce, very intense, right? But I actually looked up online. Lions sleep 20 hours a day. 20. That means that they're awake for 4 hours. And the Shulchan Aruch is telling us to wake up in the morning like a lion. And what does that mean? It doesn't seem to make so much sense. If you're thinking about it, right? Why am I supposed to wake up like an animal who doesn't wake up? It doesn't seem to make so much sense, right? So what does it mean? So you look at source number 7, the Taz has a really amazing answer. The Magen Avraham brings down the same answer, but the Taz quoted it a little bit more simply, so I brought him down. If you want to look at the Magen Avraham, he says it also. He's Gaber Kari. Why? Iker Gvura Keneged Yetzer Hara. Okay? Shamru is a Gibor, right? When you say the word Gibor, right? Whenever it says Gibor, it's always talking about the Yetzer Hara. Okay? So that means that what we're talking about in the morning, Gaber Kari, must be talking in some way about the Yetzer Hara. So how? V'amar Kari, so we say you should wake up like a lion, specifically a lion. Ki teva hari asher emo yira misham bria. The lion isn't scared of anybody. Right? The lion's the king of the jungle. The lion doesn't have anything controlling it. Whatever the lion wants to do, the lion's going to do. Right? So why does the Mechaber tell us that we should wake up like a lion in the morning? Because, okay, think about it like this, right? How many times, whether it's now or before yeshiva, whatever it might have been, you're lying in bed, your alarm goes off, davening's in 15 minutes, and you're just like, are you able to send up the Makoro sheets? Some people were asking for it. Sure. I don't know if they can. If you can send it on Facebook, I don't know if that's possible, or to the groups, but maybe Ashley send to the groups because people were asking for it. I don't know. Okay. I'll continue while you're doing it. Okay. For everyone watching online, we're going to try to get the Makoros as soon as possible. For now, I'm just going to continue instead of just sitting here and waiting. I'll try to read things inside and slower so that people can follow along. Right, but we just read the Taz, and going back to our example, how many times have you been lying in bed, your alarm goes off, you're sleeping there, you're like, I didn't get any sleep last night, I don't want to wake up, okay, I'll snooze it for 5 more minutes and I'll wake up, and then the next thing you know, you're at 8 o'clock in bed, right? How many times does that happen? It happens to a lot of people, right? And well, okay, right? I'm like, okay, it might not be such a bad thing because what am I doing? I'm waking up, I'm going to shop for a I'm missing halacha seder. It's not a big deal. I'll make it to breakfast and I'll be in time for seder, right? I'll finish by 9 o'clock, so I'll be there by seder. But you're missing halacha seder. That's something that's important. So why, right? It's the Yetzer Hara that you're sitting in bed and you don't know exactly You don't know exactly how you're going to be able to fight your Yetzer Hara because it's telling you to go back to sleep. It's not a big deal. Like, you're not missing so much. Just go to Ramban. It's a quicker minyan anyway. The yeshiva minyan's dragged out so long. Why would I want to be there anyway? So you end up pressing snooze and you go to sleep for 5 more minutes. The next thing you know, you end up sleeping through the whole thing, right? So why does it say Yitgaber Ka'ari? You should wake up like a lion. Even though they're not awake for so long, it's not talking about how long you should be awake for in the day. It's talking about how you should wake up, right? A lion doesn't have anything controlling it. We should wake up like a lion in the sense that we don't have our Yetzer Hara controlling us. None of that matters. If I want to be productive, I'm going to be productive. If I don't want to be productive, I won't be productive. Okay? Good. So now we know that we're supposed to wake up in the morning properly. Just got it. Fine. So in the first 30 seconds of my morning, I'm going to make a decision that I should be productive. Okay, what about the rest of my day, though? So if you look at source number 8, again, Pirkei Avos, the base of a lot of more of these hashkafic ideas and these hashkafic conversations are based on Pirkei Avos. It tells you about how you should live your life. So if you look at Parak Bet, Mishnah Tet Vav and Tet Zayin, first one says Hayom Katzar, right? The day is very short. V'amalacha meruba, but there's so much that you have to do. Okay, day's short, so much that you have to do. You can't do everything in one day. Big problem. If you look at the next one, Hu Hayomer, Lo Alecha Al Malacha Ligmor. Okay, it's not expected of you to finish everything that you're supposed to be doing that day. Again, because Malacha meruba and the Yom Katzar. V'lo ata ben chorin livatel mimena. But you can't forget about the second half of that statement also, right? You don't have the option of just completely being mavatel everything that you were supposed to be doing, right? Just because you're not able to accomplish something doesn't mean that you don't have the responsibility to try to accomplish everything that you're supposed to be doing that day, right? A lot of times people sell themselves a little bit short, and I'm going to be speaking about that a little bit later, but just to keep that in their mind, that there's so much that you're able to accomplish, you end up seeing this massive, massive, massive obstacle in front of you, everything you're supposed to be doing, and then you're like, okay, I can't do it. There's too much. Like, I'm just not going to do anything anymore, right? Or you'll be like, okay, fine, I'll do like some, a little bit here, a little bit there. Like, it doesn't really matter so much to me because like I can't finish everything anyway, so like I'll do the best I can. Like, are you really doing the best you can? It's something you should be thinking of. If you look at Rabbeinu Yonah on these two Mishnayos, he gives an amazing mashal. This mashal Melech Shamru la'avdo, right? So there's a king. He says to his slave, Madud zehuve mikan va'ad lamachar. So you can measure out all of the gold, right? I'm going to bring you into my treasury. I'm going to measure out all the gold. You can measure out all the gold that you want from today until tomorrow morning. Anything that you count, anything that you put into your shopping cart is yours. You can keep it. You can go home with all the gold tomorrow, right? Eich Yashan. How is this Eved going to end up sleeping if he knows that he's in the treasury and he's allowed to take whatever he wants, right? He knows that he's not able to take the entire treasury. There's not enough time for that. He only has 4 hours, right? But he's not going to go to sleep. He's going to work as hard as he can to take as much as he can out of that treasury. Right? But so too us, right? We're standing there. We have all this Torah in front of us. We're in Hashem's treasury. We have all this Torah. We have everything that we're supposed to accomplish. And what are we doing? We're sleeping those extra 5 minutes. Okay, I'll come to the base at like 3:45 instead of 3:30, or maybe even 3 o'clock, trying to take that extra time from the treasury that you can have, right? A lot of times people are like, okay, fine, like what's 5 minutes here? What's 5 minutes there? 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there could be $300,000 worth of gold that you're completely passing up on, right? When you look at the perspective and you see how valuable Torah really is, and that you're standing in a treasury at all times, how could you waste a second? It doesn't make sense that you're wasting a second. And I think that just to go a little bit more on Inyana Diyoma, right, the yeshiva closed. Okay, very, very unfortunate. The yeshiva closed. We're not even really allowed in the base medrash, right? What's happening? The base isn't full, right? I was sitting there today, and I think I probably saw like 4 other people learning there, or like some people learning in the back, like a few people up here, right? But how many people are actually learning today? As much as they should be, if there was none. Not many, right? Not as much as there should be. And why? Because there's not a fit schedule. Why does it matter about the schedule? The schedule's there, okay? You're going out, and okay, on the schedule it says that I have morning seder from 9 to 11:45, and then shir from 11:45 to 1. Okay, so I'll be there. But if it's not on the schedule, okay, fine. I don't have to be there. I can get there at like 10:15. It's not a big deal. Like I'll pack for the next 3 days, even though it really only takes me 5 minutes to pack anyway. Like I'll stretch it out for like 3 days because I can. I'll be worrying about my flight, this and that, right? All these things are important. Like, think about how much time you actually need to be doing these things and how much time you're just telling yourself that you're wasting. And again, like everything that I just said is super intimidating, right? Like when you think about it that way, like you're in a treasury, you can't even waste a second. Like you, the entire day, your entire life, you just need to be completely on, and there's nothing that can be blocking you. And you're sitting there, and you're like, it's like you don't even know what to do. Like, there's just so much that you could be doing. How is it possible that you can be doing that all the time? Right? You need breaks. So if we look at the Oracle Tzaddikim, he gives a little bit of Musar on this. And I think that it's amazing trying to put our lives in perspective, right? He said, a lot of times, people who are lazy kind of put these svaras into their minds. Because they look for a heter and they say, right? A very good svara. If I need to rest now, because someone who's rested is able to accomplish more. But okay, I'm not going to say it just because he says it next. Right? Even though it's a true svara, right? He's right. Someone who's rested is better than someone who's tired. If you're rested, you're going to be able to learn better. You're going to be able to be a better Eved Hashem. Right? That you're going to be going through, and it's true that when you're rested and you're calm and you're relaxed, you're going to be able to be doing things properly. Your heart's going to be open, everything's going to be good. But this is only for someone who's actually productive, right? Someone who's not productive isn't, like, you can't use this svara, because if you're not productive, then your resting isn't for something, right? Your resting is just for the sake of resting. Right? It's true. Sometimes you do need to rest in order to be more chazak. Right? But someone who's lazy is gonna like take advantage of this svara, and he's gonna say to himself, like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'll like extend this a little bit more. I'll take, like, instead of a 30-minute nap that I really need, I'll take like an hour and 15-minute nap, because like the longer I sleep, the better I'll be awake for night seder, right? Not necessarily true, right? A lot of times that 30-minute nap could be more than enough for you, and then you could have had 45 minutes in the afternoon to chazer night seder, and then maybe you would have been even more prepared for night seder than you were if you took that 45 minutes to be sleeping, right? You really have to have a real cheshbon for yourself and try to understand, like, if you're really using your rest, or if you're really using, like, I'm going to play ball today during break. Are you really using that because you need to re-energize, or are you using that just because, like, hey, Sam, like, I want to play basketball, it's fun, right? And you're just kind of using it as an excuse. There's an idea I heard from Rabbi Aryeh Leibowitz from YU. He was giving one of his Temen halachas that he gave while he was even still in DRS. He was speaking about a Rambam that said that, I asked him for the makor of the Rambam. He hasn't answered me yet. Not a call out. Take your time, even though there's no way you're listening to this. But right, he said that the Rambam explains how everything that you do in your life can be l'shem shamayim. Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Sleeping, eating, anything that you do can all be l'shem shamayim. And the way to do that is by your kavana. If you have kavana to be doing whatever you're doing l'shem shamayim, then what you're doing, you're getting a mitzvah for everything that you're doing. And I remember my 6th grade Rebbe. Anyone who went to Halb here? You and Jonathan, that's it. No one else? Yeah, fine. So Halb, we have a Rebbe, Rabbi Kramer. And he would tell us when we were in Shir one day, and he said, like, listen, when you go to sleep every single night, you can get a mitzvah for every second of sleep that you have. And everyone, like 6th grade, like, whoa, it's crazy, right? How do you do that? I'm sleeping. I'm not doing anything productive. And he says, like, if you say before you go to sleep, I'm going to sleep now, so that tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, I can have the energy to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu properly. I see you mouthing it. Very good. Right? Then every single second that you have of sleep is a mitzvah. Why? Because you're doing it with the kavana of having the proper intentions to serve Hashem properly the next day, to have the energy. Right? And I remember that every single night since 6th grade, I've been saying that before I went to sleep. And like, that wasn't like it was just like something that's like really amazing. Like, you could have that mindset. Is just like having that mindset of being productive and having that mindset of like what I'm doing right now is for the greater good of me being productive the next day. I'm eating lunch now so that I'm not hungry during afternoon Seder. All those things, like I'm playing basketball now so that I don't get like burnt out at the end of Chorov Zman. All these things are like very, very justified like things to be doing, but only if you're doing them with the proper mindset. So now I guess going into the question of like why be productive? Why does it matter to be productive? We spoke about the importance and we spoke about a little bit why, but like what does it really do for you? Right? So if you look at again the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, says Ovet Malacha, you need to love your work. Why? Why do you need to love your work? So if you look at the Bartanura, right, what does he say? Shabbatala maybe shimum. Okay? Because Batala is going to bring you to boredom. Okay? Seems logical, right? What's his source? It's the Gemara in Ksubis. Jordan, did I learn this with you even? Maybe. I think I learned this with Jordan. Shout out. My Chavrusa Shanabet. You learned Shanabet also. Ksubis or Shanabet? Shabbos or Shanabet? Maybe I didn't learn it. Maybe I learned it with Aryeh. Whatever it is, right? The Gemara is in the middle of discussing all the obligations that a husband has for his wife and the obligations that the wife has for their husband. Okay, so the Gemara says that if the husband tells his wife that, don't worry, sweetie, I hired 100 maids for you. You're not going to have to do laundry once in your entire life. Nothing. You don't have to cook. You don't have to do anything. You can sit back, relax, and have an amazing life. Seems to be a really nice husband, right? What happens? The Rabbanon force him to give her a get. Force him. Why? Shabbatala maybe lide shimum. Because batala brings you to boredom. Okay? So what? Who cares if I'm bored? Right? To the point where the husband is forced to give the girl a get. He has to divorce her because he's making her bored. Who cares? Okay, she'll be chilling for a while. Why does it matter? So Rashi on that Gemara, he says, what does shimum mean? It doesn't necessarily just mean boredom. It means shigon, madness. Right? It's going to bring you to madness. Why is it going to bring you to madness? So if you look at another Gemara in Pirkei Avos, source number 15, Yafet Talmud Torah and Derech Eretz. It's good to mix Talmud Torah and Derech Eretz. She'agiat Shneim Mishkachat Avon. Because both of them together are going to get rid of sin. What does that mean? Both of them together are going to get rid of sin. So if you look at Rabbeinu Yonah again, Kolomar, Masi Yetzirah, again, talking about the Yetzirah. Sha'ayidei Shehu Yiga Batorah Umalacha Lo Yishol Alav Yetzirah Ki B'chol Et Asher Lo Yehi Adesh and B'Shem and Lo Yarev Lo La'asod Averu. Right? If you're productive all of the day, there's no time for the Yetzirah to get you. Right? If you give the Yetzirah time, he's going to come in and he's going to be and he's going to be the one who's productive and he's going to get you. You're going to end up doing Averos. It's inevitable. But if you're productive and you don't give the Yetzirah time to work his magic, then his magic's not going to be able to be worked on you, right? If Targum speaks about this all the time, I'm sure a bunch of you have heard this before, but when you're productive, you're not going to be doing Averos. He says a lot of times if someone's struggling with something and someone asks, like, what should I be doing? He says, is there ever a time where you're just like sitting around? Like, Dafka at that time is when you're going to end up sinning because there's nothing going on, so you're just going to be doing something else, right? But if you're constantly, let's say, for example, learning, if you're in the Beis Medrash, you're not going to be doing anything wrong in there because your head's going to be in a Gemara, right? Or if you're out in the field, plowing the field, right? What are you going to be doing? You're focused on plowing the field. You're not going to be doing anything wrong because you don't have time to be doing anything wrong. So I think it's really important to be productive, again, based off of all of these different ideas, be productive because it's going to bring you away from sinning. But does this mean that being productive is only a defense mechanism, right? I thought we were speaking about how it's important to be productive for the sake of being productive, not productive for the sake of a defense mechanism. So if you look at another Gemara in Avodah Zarah, it says, Shama Yomer Adam, right? What? Just starting from the middle. But it says, Nitzati Lishoni Meiros, Hatami Dabar B'mai, Lecha V'Dgar B'Shina. Okay, good. I'm not going to do Averos. How am I going to protect myself from doing Averos? I'm going to sleep all day. If I sleep all day, I'm not going to be doing anything wrong. I can't do anything wrong if I'm not doing anything. Therefore, what? Talmud Lomar, Sur Meira, what else? The Asay Tov. You also need to be doing things good. It's not enough to just be Sur Meira. You also have to be Asay Tov. Okay, so before we close, I think that it's really cool to be looking, I think, at our Avos and see how our Avos spoke about, or not spoke about, but were spoken about in the context of productivity. And then we'll get to the answer to the question that we had before on the original Gemara in Avodah Zarah. We'll have a nice hashkafic idea, and then we'll close. But for now, if you look at Bereshis, Parsha Toldot, Akiva, shout out from Mitzvah Parsha. Right, what happens? Vayigdu Hanarim, right? So they grew up. Vayi Esav ish yodeh tzayid ish sadeh. So Esav was a person who knew how to trap. He was a hunter, right? He was a man of the field. But Yaakov ish tam yoshev olim. Yaakov was a simple man who sat in a tent. Okay? Now what does this mean? Right? What are these two characteristics? So Rashi explains, Ish Sadeh. What does it mean that Esav's an Ish Sadeh? I translated it as a man of the field. Okay, but that's not how it's translated. Why? Kibashmao Adam Batel. He's an Adam Batel. Okay, a man of the field is an Adam Batel. What does that mean? Right? A man of the field is not an Adam Batel. A man of the field is doing stuff. Why is he considered an Adam Batel? So Rav Eliyahu Mizrahi gives an answer to this, right? Afagav demi Ish Sadeh Mashma Adam Batel v'lo Oved Sadeh. Right? We thought, again, our Havamina of reading this pasuk is okay, good. He's an Oved Sadeh. He works in the field. He's a hunter and he works in the field. He's not an Adam Batel, but really it's Mashma Adam Batel. Why? Look at the bold at the end. Kevan shederech habatlanim hoche hasados shiyud sodim chayos va'ofos derech ta'anug. Right? Think about the canteen in camp. Right? Rav Targum speaks about this all the time. You go in camp, you hang out in the canteen, and you're a complete batlan. Right? You're standing there. What are you doing? You're sitting there, hanging out with people, boys, girls, doesn't matter who it is. You're sitting there, and you're completely wasting your time. Right? Completely wasting your time. There's nothing going on in the canteen other than complete hawk. Right? What could you be doing instead? There's a base medrash in almost every camp. Right? Why not spend your nights there? Probably be a little bit more productive. Right? So what is it? Again, he's not talking about a canteen because canteens didn't exist back then. But he's saying that Esav would waste his time out in the field, right? He would be a hunter just to be a hunter, not necessarily to eat, just because it was fun, right? He would be out there, he would take his arrow, he would shoot a deer, and he would just leave it there. And that would be it. He would just kind of move on with his day and go shoot the next deer, right? He was an Adam Batel. Everything he was doing didn't mean anything, right? But we have to realize that everything we should be doing should have meaning. But Yaakov, right? What happened to Yaakov? If you look at the Targum Yonas Amen Uziel again, not again. New source number 21. At the very Yaakov Gavar Shalom ba'avodav umashma beit midrasha d'shem ubeis midrasha de'ever. Right? What does it mean? He's an Ishav Yoshev Olim. Which Ohel was he sitting in? He was sitting in the Ohel of the Yeshiva of Shem Va'ever. Right? And what did he do there? Tava upan min kadam Hashem. He was seeking out opportunities to learn in front of Hashem. He was seeking. They use a lesson of seeking, right? He was actively searching for opportunities to be productive, even if they weren't right in front of him. Right? Yaakov understood the value of time. He knew what it means to be productive and what it means to waste your time. He seeks out those opportunities to do what's productive. Right? We learn a lot from our Avos, and we're supposed to be using them as our role models. So we should mold ourselves, obviously, based on the characteristics of Yaakov, not of Esav. It's something we should be thinking of. Do we want to be like Esav, or do we want to be like Yaakov? So now, just to close off a little bit before we get to the nice hashkafic idea, to boost people's self-confidence a little. Remember the Gemara that we spoke about in Avodah Zarah, back in source number 5, if you want to look back at it, right? Why is it that someone who is a Leitzan is considered to be destroying the world? Again, we thought it should have said Batlanos, not Kliya. Doesn't seem to make so much sense. And I think that the answer could be found in the Mishnah Berurah commenting on the very simon of Yitgaber Ka'ari. Right, source number 22, the Mishnah Berurah, La'avodas Boro, Ki lakach nivra ha'adam. The reason why each and every one of us were created is to be La'avodas Boro. That's it. Nothing else. Just to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, what does that mean? That's a good question. Right? That brings us into a whole different thing of what does it mean to serve Hashem? What does Hashem want from you? What's your tafkid? But whatever that tafkid is, whatever you decide that tafkid to be, that's why you were created. Yitgaber alav, ve'al yishmalo ve'yachshov benafsho elo haya nitzach la'amod l'sharis b'nei melech vasav adam. Kama haya zahir v'zaraz la'amod b'hashkama lahachin asmo la'avodato. Right? We were created to be productive. We weren't created to hang around and waste our time. We were created to be builders. We weren't created to be passive. And in turn, by being passive and not building what you were supposed to be building, you're inherently what? Destroying. Right? It's not a physical destruction. It's a passive destruction. Again, this is my own yesod, so you don't necessarily have to take it to be truth. I do think it's truth, and even if it's not truth, I think it's a nice idea anyway. Right? But we were all created with a mission, right? We were put here for a reason. We all have things that we're supposed to be doing. We all have things that we're supposed to be bringing into this world. We all have a certain blueprint that's supposed to be guiding us towards the things that we're supposed to be building, and we only have a limited amount of time. Right? Unfortunately, we can't buy time or we can't borrow time, and sometimes our time is taken from us, like what's happening here. Right? We thought we were going to have 2 more weeks of Horusman. We don't have 2 more weeks of Horusman. Right? What are we going to do with those 2 weeks that were taken from us? Are we going to let this virus take these last 2 weeks of Horusman away from us? Or are we going to overcome this virus and we're going to say, no, okay, fine. Yeshiva's not on a schedule. I'm still sitting here, or I'm going home tomorrow or the next day, whatever it is, wherever I end up finding myself this week. Am I going to be sitting there and wasting my time? Am I going to be like Esav? Am I going to destroy the world? Or am I going to understand that I'm here for a reason? HaKadosh Baruch Hu put me down on this earth for a tafkid. I need to be building the world. And if I'm not building it, I'm destroying it. And am I going to let myself destroy the world? Or am I going to build it the way that I'm supposed to be doing? Right? We were created to fix the world, to build the world, not to destroy it. I once heard a really cool quote. I don't know who it was from. I have this thing that I really like quotes. And sometimes I kind of just go online and type in cool quotes and just listen to them, just read them. So there's one quote that I found that happened to work really, really well for this. The bad news is that time flies, but the good news is that you're the pilot. Yeah, did everyone hear that? The bad news is that time flies. The good news is that you're the pilot. You have control over how you spend your time. You can either choose to fly in the direction of productivity, or you could fly in the direction of destruction by wasting those opportunities to be productive and to be building. Right? So I think that for these next 2 weeks, and not necessarily just these next 2 weeks, for the rest of our lives, but specifically in these next 2 weeks we were supposed to have Horusman, right? Fly in the direction of productivity. Right? It doesn't matter what is put in your path. It doesn't matter what Nisyonos Hashem is putting in front of us. Right? These closing out yeshiva, and we're not going to have our proper shiurim that we're supposed to be having. Right? Maybe that means you could pick up a new lima that you weren't planning on learning before. Right? We don't have morning seder anymore. You have that hour. Maybe learn something that you weren't learning. Something that you've always wanted to learn but didn't have the opportunity to. Or maybe do a little bit more chazara on your bikiyas, because a lot of times people just fly through. Again, talking to Eytan about this before. Thank you for the musr. Right? We need to realize how valuable. He didn't think he was giving musr, but it was good. I took it. Thank you. Right? We need to realize where we are. We need to realize what we should be doing. Now, just to look at source number 23. Once we're on the topic of Yizgaber Ka'ari, I want to share with all of you a really beautiful piece from Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Nassan, whoever it's from, in the Likutei Halachos, officially written by Rabbi Nassan. The Likutei Halachos, for those of you who don't know, it's a commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, where he discusses in tremendous length the idea of Yizgaber Ka'ari. It was 10 pages long. It was really awesome to read, but I'm not going to quote you the whole thing. Rav Melamed actually summarizes it in Peninei Halacha, so I typed it up here because it's a lot shorter. So I'm just going to put this one in instead. But if you want to look at it in Likutei Halachos, it's very kedai, it's very good, and it's not such hard Hebrew either. Right? Od katvu achronim shetov lomar be'es hakima mehashena. Right? That right when you wake up from your sleep, what should you say? Moda'ani lefanacha melacha v'kayam shechazarta bina shvati b'chemla. Pause. Hard comma. Rabba emunatecha. Right? Why did I put a hard comma there? Ha'emuna notenes la'adam tchilat b'chayav. Right? The emuna that was given to a person is the start of your life. What does that mean? If Hashem chose and decided to give you life, right? That implies what? that your life has a lot of value, right? Why would Hashem give you back your neshama if your life didn't mean anything? It doesn't make so much sense. When we talk emunah zu, and with this emunah that you are now given, efshar lakum baboker b'zrizos u'b'gvura, right? When you realize that you have so much that you're supposed to be accomplishing in the world, and that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you back your neshama for a reason, you're going to be able to wake up properly in the morning. Va'amru sheyakum ka'ari, right? And it says that you should wake up like a lion. Why? A different idea than the Taz and the Magen Avram. V'bnei sha'arei misemel et misha ahuv et atzmo. A lion is the symbol of someone who loves itself, right? Umakir ba'arachav, and understands its value. Umitoch kach hu mitmoded b'gvura im kol ha'mechsholim she'omdim b'darko, right? And therefore, he's going to be able to measure out all of the obstacles that are in front of him, and he's going to jump right over them. Nothing's going to come in his way. Why? Because he understands his place. He knows he's the king of the jungle. He knows that nothing is going to come in his way, and therefore, whatever he wants, he's going to get. Because nothing matters to him. Right? We need to realize that every single day, each and every one of us has value. Right? Hashem believes in all of us, right? Your life is meaningful and you matter. Every moment of your life matters. Every moment. Each second. Hashem decided to wake you up this moment for a reason, right? And once we realize how valuable we are, and once we realize how much we're able to bring into this world, when we realize that Hashem has the emunah in us, we're going to be able to wake up in the morning properly energized and with all the energy that we need to tackle the world with productivity and excitement, right? I think it's really important not to sell yourself short. Just to give a little bit of a personal idea going on now. I've always like I've been into learning. Like I was good with it. Like I've always been learning. Like I've never really had a problem, thank God, with like not being at Seder and like learning properly while I'm there. But I definitely did sell myself short. Like while I was in Yeshiva, I did. Like I was here. I was learning well. Like nobody else really understood that, but like I always knew in the back of my mind that I was able to go to the next level. But I never did because I never saw myself as one of those top guys, right? Like we had like guys like Ari Levine, for example, were my year, right? When I'm looking at Ari, I'm like, hey, no way I can get to Ari's level. So like, it doesn't matter. Like where I am is good. Like I'm happy with where I am, right? But in YU this year, I was speaking with one of the Night Seder Rebbeim there, and like we had a really, really great conversation, and he was pushing me a little bit harder. And I think that once I realized how much I was really able to accomplish and kind of like put that stigma out of the back of my head and like realize how valuable like I was able to be and how much I was able to accomplish, I was able to put all that aside and like take the next level and take the next step in my learning. And I think that like over the past few months, my learning has been so much better because of that. And I think that it's important that when you realize now to apply it back to all you guys, like a lot of times, like people sell themselves short. Like I don't know if you guys are, if you guys aren't, whatever it is, that's for your personal cheshbonos to realize. But when you look at yourself, like you're like whatever you think you're able to do so much more. You just don't necessarily know how to get there, right? You just have to make that decision to just say like, wherever I am now, I'm going to push myself harder. And in a month, you're going to look back and you're going to say like, wow, like I'm a much better learner, or I'm much better at this midah, right? I get angry so much less now, right? Whatever it is, I'm jealous of people so much less. I don't speak as much lashon hara, regardless of what it is, whether it's learning midos, anything that you're speaking about. That you shouldn't sell yourself short. And I think that it's important. I think that was just like a nice message to talk about when we were talking about Yiskaber Kari and the productivity of time, to think about how you personally can increase your value and increase your productivity in the world, and maybe even build the world even more than you thought you were able to build previously. So thank you all for joining. I have a little bit more on the Makoros, these Purim editions. It's a little bit after Purim, so I don't really need to give it now. It's not really so crucial to the shir. If any of you want to hear it, you can come to me afterwards. But yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Good.
On the screen.
On the stream. Bye, guys.
All right.